are you doing in front of my house? Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing in front of my house? I'm an Uber driver!
This is the haunting true story of two survivors whose lives were forever changed by one man's senseless act of violence. Between 2017 and 2020, Uber reported nearly 10,000 cases of assault and over 120 fatalities linked to its platform in the United States alone. These reports ranged from minor disturbances to outright murder, but the case in Kalamazoo, Michigan, pushed far beyond mere statistics.
An Uber driver in Michigan is suspected of going on a rampage, fatally shooting strangers in between taking fares.
As many of you read, 6 people were gunned down in a rampage in Kalamazoo.
In February 2016, an Uber driver went on a terrifying rampage, fatally shooting strangers between taking fares. The city was plunged into chaos as 6 people were gunned down over the course of a single night, leaving the police overwhelmed with frantic 911 calls.
I said to the driver, "You're not the shooter, are you?"
Hello, I need an ambulance. Please hurry up. Okay, so female's down. She's been shot. Please don't move. They coming, okay? Please don't move. We got the kids. Did anybody see what kind of car it was? My boyfriend and his dad just got shot.
9-10 gunshots right outside our apartment complex.
Hello? 911. We need someone here. Okay, ma'am.
Among the victims was a 14-year-old girl named Abigail Kopf, who survived but was critically injured. Her survival became a fragile hope for justice, as she might hold the key to stopping the killer before he could harm anyone else.
The 14-year-old was shot at the Cracker Barrel parking lot, along with 4 women who were all killed. At the hospital, Abigail was pronounced dead.
Unfortunately, the 14 years old has passed away as well.
While doctors prepared for organ donation, she squeezed.
It was around 10 p.m. on February 20th, 2016, when Abigail Kopf was sitting at a table outside a Cracker Barrel restaurant with her best friend and surrogate grandmother, 68-year-old Barbara Hawthorne. Abbie's calm and thoughtful nature made her comfortable in the company of older people, and that evening was no different. The pair had just come from a play downtown and were joined by 3 of Barbara's friends. They were enjoying a pleasant meal and conversation before preparing to head home. As they got into Barbara's car, with Abbie sitting in the front passenger seat, Barbara reminded her not to miss their upcoming knitting class together. 2 other women sat in the back, while another stepped into a van parked beside them. Suddenly, the sound of screeching tires shattered the calm. A black car pulled up behind their vehicles, blocking their escape from the parking lot. Moments later, loud bangs echoed through the air. Inside the car, screams erupted as shards of glass flew, some stained with blood. Abbie instinctively crouched down between her seat and the floor, trying to hide. She barely had time to comprehend the chaos before Barbara shielded her with her own body. Through the broken window, Abbie saw the smoking barrel of a gun aimed directly at her. Barbara took 3 bullets in the chest while pushing Abbie down, sacrificing herself to save the teenager. Both Barbara and Abbie were rushed to the hospital, but Barbara died shortly after arrival, while Abbie was admitted to the ICU in critical condition.
Kalamazoo County 911.
I'm at the Kalamazoo Cracker Barrel and there's been gunshots in a car.
Okay, has anybody been hit?
2 cars have been shot up. Dad, I got it.
All right, hold on just a second.
Did you guys see anything?
Holy that kid. They still alive? Yeah, she is. Where's he at? Can you walk? Oh, we got a problem.
That one's dead. He's looking at another one. There's a female in the back seat, driver's side.
The little girl's not going to make it.
Earlier that day, 5 hours before the attack on Abbie, 25-year-old Tiana Carruthers was babysitting her 7-year-old daughter, Kania, along with her niece and 3 other neighborhood children. Tiana had raised Kania on her own since she was a teenager, and when the children asked to meet a friend across the street, Tiana agreed on the condition she could accompany them. Their walk was abruptly interrupted by a silver SUV speeding down the street, screeching to a halt in front of them. Behind the wheel was a heavy-set man with disheveled gray hair and wild eyes, Jason Dalton, the Uber driver who would soon become known as the Kalamazoo Killer. He stared at Tiana and bluntly said he was there to pick her up, but she calmly told him she hadn't ordered an Uber and urged the children to keep walking. The vehicle peeled away but quickly circled back. This time, Jason Dalton pulled out a gun. Tiana froze as he pointed it at the children. With no time to think, she stepped in front of them, shielding the 5 kids, including her own daughter, from harm. Following the shooting, Jason Dalton swapped guns and vehicles and spent the rest of the evening alternating between running fares and randomly shooting people. Over the night, he shot 7 individuals, including the 4 women at the Cracker Barrel parking lot.
Hello? Hello?
911.
We need someone here.
Okay, ma'am.
Please, we need...
Ma'am, you need to tell me where you are.
Where did they shoot at?
County emergency.
Yeah, hello, I need a ambulance, police. Please hurry up. Somebody fire shots in Savannah Trace Townhome.
Okay, so female's down. She's been shot.
I'm coming. I'm gonna leave it. I don't know. The car sped off. Please. Please don't move. Please don't move. They coming, okay? Please don't move. We got the kids. Please don't move.
The incident left the community in shock and mourning. The police quickly identified Dalton as the suspect and launched a massive manhunt.
One of the women shielded Abbie with her own body and took 3 shots.
Oh, Lord, where was she shot at? And they wouldn't answer me. And I said, do I have time to make it there? Tell me right now, is she dead? And the lady on the phone said, no, she's not dead. And I said, then where was she shot at? And she said, well, honey, it's serious. And I said, where was she shot at? And she said she was shot in the head.
We made it towards the hospital, and they had the hospital locked down. They walked us up to this room in the ICU, and that's when I saw Abbie for the first time.
And I said something to the nurse, and she said, honey, most bodies twitch after they die. She said, it's normal. And then I thought I felt it again, and I said, could you please just check her and make me feel better?
I was holding Abbie's hand, and I looked right at her, and I said, Abbie, if you can hear me. I said, this is Mama. I said, if you can hear me at all. I said, give me a sign.
And within a few minutes after that, I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden, her hand just slightly went like that. She was trying to draw the letter B in the palm.
She was asking about Grandma Barb, who was killed in the shooting. Police believe she shielded Abbie, taking 3 bullets in the chest while she pushed Abbie down.
She saved Abbie's life.
Officers pulled over 10 vehicles matching the description of his car, desperately searching for the killer. When they finally spotted a suspicious vehicle and began tailing it, a tense chase ensued before the car suddenly pulled over. Expecting a violent confrontation, officers approached cautiously, clad in body armor and guns drawn. To their surprise, Dalton calmly surrendered by sliding his arms out the window.
Windows down. You want to yell at him? What draw you want to do? Ready? Con. Gun. Stuff him up. Yep. Body armor? I can't believe he didn't come up here. He didn't quite us to want to go up. I am surprised that he didn't want to go at it with what we figured that would be.
Following his arrest, investigators turned their attention to Dalton's mental state. While they had gathered overwhelming evidence against him, there was concern that if he was found legally insane, he might avoid prison and receive a relatively short hospital stay instead. Dalton began claiming that he was possessed by a demonic entity, describing how his phone turned into a horned devil's head that took control of his mind. His erratic behavior during police interviews fueled doubts, but officers kept him talking, hoping to glean more details about the crimes.
Is there any connection for you between any of these people?
No. I know that you guys are going to have a hard time believing this, but it literally took over mind and body.
The Uber app?
Yes.
This Uber thing, when it takes you over,
it literally has control of you. Walking to his race. So she spent $1 and they can her grade again. She told me that she didn't have it downloaded sin. I shot her. I remember that I shot a whole person in the head. You say small person.
As Dalton recounted the events, he justified each shooting by referencing his supposed possession. He described the attack on Abbie, Barbara, and the others in disturbing detail, often contradicting himself and veering into delusional explanations. The police were skeptical, but saw the necessity of understanding his mental state thoroughly. To counter any potential insanity defense, they would need a witness who could testify about Dalton's state of mind during the killing spree. Someone who could provide insight beyond the self-serving stories of the accused.
Church, school, and then it's like, comes to a complete stop. Every single 5 o'clock and changing. And I believe that I dumped the whole magazine there. I know I killed her, because how could you survive that many gunshots?
14-year-old Abbie Kopf survived the horrific Cracker Barrel shooting in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but doctors were forced to place her in a medically induced coma for her safety. As she lay unconscious, her story intertwined with that of another survivor, 25-year-old Tiana Carruthers, the first person Jason Dalton targeted during his shooting spree. While Dalton sat in police custody, boasting about his crimes as if they were achievements, he eventually spoke about Tiana, who had been shot multiple times while protecting a group of neighborhood children. Her legs and shoulder were shattered, and one bullet lodged in her liver, where it remains to this day. Paramedics reached her just in time to save her life. She underwent multiple surgeries to reconstruct her clavicle and lower body with bolts and metal, then spent months in rehabilitation to learn how to walk again. Once well enough, Tiana began speaking out. Her story made national headlines. She was recognized on television and praised for her bravery. As a guest on a talk show, she was hailed as the reason several children were still alive. "Those kids are living because of you," the host told her, and the nation agreed. Without her intervention, the death toll could have been far worse.
An Uber driver in Michigan is suspected of going on a rampage earlier this year, fatally shooting strangers in between taking fares. Now, this tragic story made national headlines. Now, during all of the chaos, my next guest risked her life to protect a playground full of kids. Please welcome Tiana. Them 4 kids you was babysitting, they living cause of you. The rest of them kids in the parking lot that you told them to run and don't come back, they living cause of you. That's cause of you.
At that first shooting scene a year ago, it was Tiana Carruthers who shielded several children from the gunman, risking her own life.
She was hailed a hero. 6 people were killed by Dalton. Without Tiana, the death toll could have been much higher.
When Jason Dalton's preliminary hearing was scheduled in 2019, Tiana was the first witness called to testify. The courtroom was tense. As the only adult survivor able to speak firsthand about the attack, the weight of the entire case rested on her. Visibly shaken, Tiana took her time to compose herself.
I seen him coming, and I saw a gun.
Your cars. They're called Abbie. They're black. They're black bags. And people drive around and you look at them. It gets real. It's like, hey, it's time people.
So, Ms. Carruthers, are you okay? Or do we need to take a minute?
The first time I was going to court, I wasn't ready. And I was like, he has no control, but he had the control at that time. It just took me back to the playroom. Took me right back there to that moment. And I just broke down.
Despite everything she had endured, she found the strength to speak not just for herself, but for the victims who couldn't. During her recovery, Tiana turned to writing to process her trauma, penning a heartfelt poem to her mother. It reflected years of pain and neglect. Her mother had battled drug addiction, often leaving young Tiana to raise her younger sisters in a crumbling home with no running water. She became a caretaker at just 7 years old. At 17, she got pregnant and decided to leave to raise her daughter, Kanya, on her own. Though her departure led to a brief stint in juvenile detention, she didn't let it break her. Through determination and grit, she built a stable life for Kania.
Can you be my mother for once? I skipped school today. I met a boy. I also put your children on the school bus. Oh, I fed them, by the way. Hey, mom, mother. Can you hear me? I'm right here. Talk to me. You're in and out, without a doubt, but never forgetting to tell me to take the trash out. No hug, no kiss, just a mother's love to be missed.
Until Jason Dalton's rampage threatened to take it all away, Tiana knew she had to testify. "This would have been my chance to look him in the eyes and tell the truth," she later said. "I wasn't going to let him have power over me."
This would have been my opportunity to look him in his eyes and just give the facts, and knowing that him jumping at me or scaring me, he wasn't gonna have that power. I wasn't gonna give it to him.
In the courtroom, Dalton was watching from another room, claiming insanity and trying to use Tiana's trauma against her. His aim, according to prosecutors, was to rattle her, hoping she would break down and struggle to recount the events. But Tiana held firm. She described how Dalton had circled back, pulled a gun and aimed it directly at the children. Her emotions peaked when asked how it felt to be shot. She thought of Abbie, the 6 victims, and the 4 children who could have died that day. But she steadied herself and kept going.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Ms. Carruthers, thank you for your patience as we made arrangements so we could continue your testimony. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes. This is all happening like really fast. And I was like, you know, I didn't know if it was real or I didn't know if it was really happening. So I just, you know, reacted fast. And I just told the kids to run and don't come back no matter what. And then I started screaming to the other children that were playing at the playground to run.
And the single person that's in the car has a gun.
Yes.
And he's coming towards you.
Yes.
And you see the gun?
Yes. Honestly, I wasn't concerned about myself. I was concerned about the kids.
Her testimony changed everything. Jason Dalton dropped the act. No more talk of demonic possession. No erratic behavior. His lawyer still pursued a psychological evaluation, but every expert who examined Dalton found him sane and fully aware of his actions. With no insanity defense to fall back on, Dalton pled guilty without conditions.
After I realized he wasn't going to stop shooting, I just pretended like I was dead already. And after he pulled off, and I realized he was gone, that's when I started screaming for the kids when I laid there, just screaming for the kids. I remember everything about it. I could never forget I could never forget his face. I see his face all the time.
Doing this voluntarily of your own free will?
Yes, I've wanted this for quite a while.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
My name is Tiana Carruthers, survivor of Jason Dalton's crimes. You tried to kill us all. You failed. I'm standing here, right here, in your face, in front of you. How does it make you feel? Look at me. How does it make you feel?
He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. For Tiana, it was a long overdue step toward healing. Meanwhile, Abbie's journey to recovery was just beginning.
Sweetie. Go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Good.
Can you wave?
I almost died, and my mom was a basket case. She sat by my bed, however long I was in a coma. She just sat there and waited for me to wake up. When I did, I remember her crying with happy tears.
Yes, I am.
I almost died, she later said. My mom was a basket case. She sat by my bed the whole time, just waiting for me to wake up. And when she finally did, it was a tearful reunion. But recovery wasn't simple. Abbie had suffered a traumatic brain injury that left her with retrograde amnesia. She had to relearn how to speak, walk, and process memories. For months, she repeatedly asked what had happened to her. Her mother had to explain over and over again that she had been shot in the head. The hardest part came when she remembered Barbara, her surrogate grandmother who died shielding her from Dalton's bullets. Why did it have to be her? Abbie asked. We both didn't deserve it. Still, Abbie pushed forward. She went to prom in 2019, just 2 months after Dalton's sentencing. That same year, Barbara's niece, Laura Hawthorne, honored her aunt's final wish by taking her ashes on a hot air balloon ride over Sedona and releasing them into the desert sky. Despite all the pain he caused, Jason Dalton didn't win. Abbie and Tiana survived. They healed. They rebuilt. The families who lost loved ones now remember them, not for how they died, but for how they lived. Tiana, once a child raising children, is now a motivational speaker who inspires others by turning tragedy into strength. There is more to life than where you come from, she says. Just build on it. Want more for yourself. She never called herself a hero, but few could do what she did, not just taking bullets to protect children, but reclaiming her identity after all she endured. Him gunning me down doesn't define me, she says. I'm stronger than I ever imagined, and yes, I'd do it again, without a doubt. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this.